Hello, welcome to Fat Slayer. This is the channel where you will lose weight guaranteed. Today I want to talk about breakfast. I'm very passionate about breakfast, and the simple reason for that is because I lost 50 pounds this year just because I started to skip breakfast. So I want to make this video where I will explain 12 reasons why breakfast is the worst meal of the day. And I promise you, what if you finish watching the video, you will change your whole concept about breakfast. You will stop believing what breakfast is a good and healthy meal. And most people, they make this mistake. They believe what breakfast is good for them and they eat it, and that messes up their weight. It makes them overweight and creates a whole bunch of health issues. So the first reason is why breakfast is the worst meal of the day. It's just because of when you eat breakfast, you usually make poor food choices. You eat things what are rich in sugar, what are usually come from bakery, what they have a lot of wheat, sugar, and all the bad things. So when you eat this kind of food, you are sending your insulin sky high early in the morning, and you're loading your body with sugar first thing in the morning. So how can that be healthy for you? Just think about it. Eating sugar first thing in the morning, maintaining your insulin sky high throughout the day, that's a bad idea. So when you eat breakfast, you are ending up overeating sugary foods for the whole day. So that's the first reason why breakfast is a bad idea. The second reason is when you eat breakfast and when you eat these kind of poor foods, you are keeping your insulin sky high for the whole day. And by keeping your insulin high, you are developing diabetes. It takes many years to develop diabetes. For some people, it's somewhere between 10 to 20 years. But just by eating breakfast every day, you're getting yourself closer. You're taking these tiny steps towards developing diabetes. And diabetes is a serious disease. Or about 25 million people in the United States are already diagnosed with diabetes, and another 75 million are considered pre-diabetic. So you're talking about 100 million people in the United States already have some stage of diabetes, and that's every third person. So if you still think what eating breakfast is a good idea, then just think about 100 million people who are already suffering, and they could all heal themselves just by starting to skip breakfast. So the next is the reason number 3 is money. When you eat breakfast, you obviously spend money on food. So money, I mean, I love to keep my money in my pockets, not in Dunkin' Donuts pockets or not in Starbucks pockets. So that's the reason number 3, and it's very important. So the next reason is time. When you eat breakfast, you spend time. If you eat it at home, you have to cook it, you have to eat it, you have to clean after yourself. It all takes time. Even for the super fast breakfast, it takes at least half an hour for the whole routine. And even if you go to Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks to grab something off the shelf, it still takes time to get to the place, come back from the place, and eat the food. So at least you spend 30 minutes in that day just on eating breakfast. So the reason number 5 why breakfast is the worst meal of the day is when you spend time on breakfast in the morning, you make your commute to your work longer. And the simple reason is what commute tends to build up with time. So for example, when I start from my house at 6:30 a.m., I get to my work in less than 40 minutes. If I start at 7 a.m., just half an hour difference, it takes me over an hour. So just by spending half an hour in the morning to eat breakfast, I add another 20 minutes to my commute. So that's, for me, it's 50 minutes of additional wasted time just because I choose to eat breakfast. So instead, when I wake up, I head straight to my car and go. So it takes me less than 10 minutes between waking up and driving, and that's a lot of saved time. So the next reason is when you eat breakfast, you steal time from your sleep. So sleep is another important part of the day, Actually, it's the most important part of the day when you're trying to lose weight and live a long and healthy life. When you need to wake up extra early to eat breakfast, you're stealing time from your sleep. So when you skip breakfast, you can sleep longer and you can extend your sleep, and this way you basically live longer and healthier because now your sleep is not messed up with your early breakfast. So the next reason why breakfast is the worst meal of the day is when you eat breakfast, you break your nightly fast. Check out my other video where I provide 14 reasons why fasting extends your life. But here, all I'm gonna say is when you eat breakfast, you break your nightly insulin, your low insulin level, and you're breaking your fast, and you send your insulin sky high. So that's the reason number 7. The reason number 8 is when you eat breakfast, you stop your fasting, and that reduces your human growth hormone. Human growth hormone is very important for your health. Check my other video where I talk about that. But when you eat breakfast, you reduce your human growth hormone secretion, and that makes your health worse. So the next reason is breakfast accelerates aging. When you eat breakfast, you reduce your human growth hormone, you reduce your fast, and you also load your body with sugars. And when your body is saturated with sugars and glucose, it ages faster. And the simple reason is you need to fast for over 14 hours for over 17 hours to start the process of body rejuvenation. So check my other video, I talk about that there. But basically when you eat breakfast, you load yourself with sugar and you accelerate aging. So the next is when you eat breakfast, that triggers your hunger to eat, that sends your insulin sky high, and then it makes you hungry. After 2 to 3 hours of eating all these sugary foods, you're again hungry for the next snack. And basically by eating breakfast, now you eat snacks, and you eat snacks all day long, and that causes overeating throughout the day. So basically breakfast makes you to overeat. And finally, when you eat breakfast and then snacks, when it's time at the lunchtime, what I like about lunchtime is if I skip breakfast and snacks, I can go to the gym and I have plenty of energy. My body is ready to exercise. And the simple reason is since I skip breakfast, my human growth hormone is high, my stomach is empty, and my body is in the process of, it's called ketosis. It takes 14 hours of fasting to start the process of ketosis, or your body basically is burning fat for energy, not sugar. And when you are heading to the gym with ketosis, then you are more energetic for the exercise. So that's the next reason. And finally, when you eat breakfast, you are gaining weight. Breakfast is the primary reason why people are gaining weight, why people are struggling with overweight, and why people are developing diabetes too, and why they just age faster. So those are the reasons why breakfast is the worst meal of the day. So if you still believe what eating breakfast is a good idea, then I go to my comment section. I'm going to provide all these reasons in writing. You can check them out and decide for yourself if you still want to eat breakfast. So people usually complain to me about, yes, I agree with breakfast, skipping breakfast is probably good, but I cannot do that because when I skip breakfast, I start to get those handshakes, my body is shaking, and I'm super hungry, I cannot focus. Well, there is a simple explanation, is your body can either burn on sugar or run on fat. So when you eat breakfast and snacks all day long, when you keep your insulin in this high weight gain zone throughout the day, you're basically running on sugar, and you have to eat every 2 to 3 hours to supply your body with this sugar. Otherwise, you get this sugar crash, means you you get low on sugar, and your body must have a new infusion of sugary food to keep running. So when you start skipping breakfast, when you slowly switch your diet from sugary sweet things to meats and vegetables, to the healthy foods, then your body starts to run on fat. And when you run on fat, you basically can eat just twice a day, like I do today. I only eat two times a day, and my body is used to that process. So if I don't have a food for any period of time, I don't get any of those shakes. I feel okay. So because my body uses my inside fat to get the energy it needs. So then the final advice is, what do you do in the morning when you finally decided to skip breakfast but you're still super hungry? What do you do? Well, you can drink certain beverages and they will help you to suppress hunger. It's black coffee, black tea, green tea, mineral water, things like that. Everything which doesn't have any milk or sugar, any calories, there should be no calories. So those beverages will help you to suppress hunger if you have it, and also just go to work, stay busy, try to do the hardest things for your day in the morning when you're skipping breakfast, and that will keep your mind away from feeling hungry. All right, I wish, and finally, I just wanted to finalize with the video with the following. There are not just 12 reasons to skip breakfast. Actually, there are many thousands of reasons to skip breakfast. So what are those thousands of reasons? Well, first of all, you save thousands of hours of your time by skipping breakfast. You don't need to spend half an hour every day to prepare your breakfast. You don't have to spend additional time on your commute. You can sleep thousands of extra hours in your life just because you no longer have to wake up extra early for your breakfast. You save thousands of dollars on not spending money on breakfast foods. You save thousands of dollars on the future healthcare expenses, because by skipping breakfast, you boost your human growth hormone. You are healthier, you can exercise more, and over your lifetime, that will result in less healthcare expenses, and that can be thousands, if not tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So there are many thousands of reasons why skipping breakfast is a great idea, and I highly recommend everyone who is still not doing that to start skipping breakfast. All right, I wish everyone great health, and I will see you guys in my next video. All right.